So we continue. So we are very end. I thought that we're going to finish last time, but there were very interesting topics and very interesting discussions. So hopefully this time we're going to finish this chapter. It's pretty long. Okay. So it says our topic is Siman 61, blessing for specific situations. Okay. So number 9. If there was a drought, even in our regions where when it rains regularly, and rain is not usually withheld, there is usually no lack of rainfall. In the event that the rains were withheld to the point that the population was in distress, then when it does rain, if the rain descends in much abundance on the earth, that the rain creates bubbles, very interesting, and the water, and so bubbles means it's literally puddles, and there are more in common, right? It's not just it got the surface red, right, and it's absorbed all of the water, right? It's absorbed, and there is so much water that it's even stay on top on the ground, and this water on the ground extends toward these drops that continue to fall. The blessing should be recited upon the rain. So we're going to see the commentary. So far, unless you live in Eretz Israel, right, or in Egypt or something. So there are in where we live, rains very often and a lot. So we just actually got flooded from the ground a little. Okay, it's very interesting, right? So we would not we usually would not say the blessing, but if it so happened, and it happens from time to time, once in so many years, HaShem brings the drought, right? And then when it rains, but when it rains enough that creates bubbles. Right, so we say so one more time this last piece, and we see the commentaries. Okay, and the water on the ground extends toward these drops. Water on the ground extends to these drops that continue to fall. So that's not clear. So let's see commentary. When the drop of the rain falls into the puddle that has already formed on the ground, some droplets are displaced upwards. See Rashi, Brochos 59b. It's very interesting. So what does it mean that some as it says once, water on the ground extends toward these drops that continue to fall. So drops come from above, but this water in the puddles come up. It's very interesting. Why? Well, when it drops, it's extends up. Very interesting. Some drops, very interesting. From the splash. Continue. Blessing should be recited upon the rain. So what is it? The blessing 35 commentary. See next CF. Oh, okay. So next CF starts with blessing to recite. See next CF. In Eretz Israel, when there is no regular rainfall throughout the year, the first rainfall on the season is greatly anticipated, and it is cause for rejoicing. So, and they actually start saying the blessing for the rain earlier. We started on December 5th, right, which was not too long ago, but they start, I think they start, I don't remember the date, 3 weeks after Sukkot ends, right? That's when they start. Okay. Just 1 second. So, of course, for them it's a great rejoicing. Therefore, Biur Halacha rules that even when there is no drought, one should recite the blessing on the first rain of the season, but without Shem Umalkus. Right? Shem means name, and Malchus meaning that Hashem, king of the universe. So you say Baruch, so blessed and continue. So you don't say Hashem, you don't say king of the universe. And as we explained, I think last time or whenever was the discussion, we say this formula in all of the doubts. We don't make a new blessing like this, but in case of the doubts, if all of the circumstances would align, we would say complete blessing, but now we're not sure, so we say this blessing, but skipping these two things. Okay, continue. So what blessing does he recite? So again, in Eretz Israel, they most likely they would do with the first rain because it's widely anticipated. But as Mishnah Berurah says, so if it's like in right without Shem and Malchus, okay. But if it was drought, so what do we say? If one does not own a field, he recite the following. So meaning one does not hold have a field. It's very interesting concept in halacha, right? So of course the field owner is going to benefit much more than I do, right? I'm a city dweller, right? I don't own any field, but on one hand, but on another hand, if they have good crops this year, right? So I'm going to also benefit because of the prices. So it like even he benefits directly, but I benefit indirectly. So that's why I would also say the blessing. Okay, so if I don't have a field. So let's see. If one does not own a field, he recite the following. We give thanks to you, HaShem, our God, for every single drop that you have brought down to us. It's an unbelievable blessing. Such a beautiful blessing, right? Where our mouths are as full as song at the sea, etc. Okay. Following the text of the blessing of the Nishmas prayer. This prayer which begins with the words Nishmas Kol Chai. So Nishmas Kol Chai, it's where do we have it? We say it on Shabbos in the morning. It's at the end of Psuki de Zimra. Right? Everybody stands at that point and it sings beautifully. Nishmas Kol Chai, etc. Right? So and it's the name is the soul and every living being. Okay. Here we go. Is recited on Shabbos and Yom Tov morning before Yishtabach. So Yishtabach, it's a blessing, like a concluding blessing of Psuki de Zimra. Okay. I think we say it as a psalm of the, like after the psalm of the day, I think on the Rosh Chodesh, I think. Maybe I'm mistaken. Okay. Okay, so here's, he once begins with the word, Vailu Pinu, right? Where our mouths. Okay, so basically the whole Nishmas Kol Chai, it's very interesting. It's, so beginning as we said, right? We thank you, meaning Modim and etc. And then we read the whole Nishmas Kol Chai. It's a pretty long prayer, the whole page, or even more than page, depends on the type. Okay. Until I apologize, not completely. Until the phrase, to all of them shall sanctify and declare sovereignty of name of our King. At that point, he should conclude with the word, "Blessed are you, Hashem, God, who praised with abundance thanksgiving and praises." See Shulchan Aruch 219.2 does not include the final words Sish Bachos, Sish Bachos, and praises. Okay. Basically, okay, doesn't matter. So we just follow our Siddur. If one owns a field jointly with another Jew, so here you go, he recites the blessing Hatov Hametiv, who is good and does good. Right? So commentary, see chapter 59. So we say, just to remind us, we say Shihiano if only you benefit. So you bought yourself a suit, right? Or something, right? So only you benefit. But if other people benefit together with you, so your family benefits, right? So then you say Hatov Hametiv. Here they're partners. He's a partner with another Jew. So he said Hatov Hametiv. So commentary. So see about 59.1. It's previous chapter, like a few chapters before, which says that when one hears the good tidings, here we go, in which one shares the benefit with others as well, he recites Hatov Hametiv blessing. If tiding affects one alone, he recites Shehiyanu blessing. Okay, so that's good. Continue. If one has no Jewish partner in his ownership of the field, even though he has a wife and children, he should not recite Hatov Hametiv. Rather, he should recite the blessing Shehiyanu, who keeps us alive. So this we need to explain, right? Because it's not so simple. When two partners, so you and your partner benefit, that's straightforward, right? But here, for example, he's the only owner, and he has a wife and kids. So like basically everybody benefits, but not everybody benefits, right? Let's see. See previous note. According to Mishnah Brura, if one has a wife and children, he should recite Hatov Hametiv, since they can be considered partners, very interested with him, since they too share the benefit of the rain. Okay, so let's keep this in mind. No, there is no explanation for a Kitzur decision. The way I understand, he would say Shehiyanu, because he's the only owner. So the wife and the kids, that they are not considered to be owner. So in some sense, only he benefits, and they are like a side benefit or something, right? But because he's obligated to feed them anyway, right? So they're going to benefit. But this is what Mishnah Brura says. It's actually Mishnah Brura says that the family, wife, and the kids, they're considered to be partners. They're not actually partners. They're not physical partners. They cannot be partners, right? So why? Because whatever belongs to a wife belongs to a husband. So she cannot have she cannot be a legal partner to it. Or children, they maybe older children could be partners, but younger not, for sure not, right? But we go by Mishnah Brura. He said Hatov Hametiv. We say Hatov Hametiv. Continue. The blessing of Hatov Hametiv and Shehiyanu. Again, Hatov Hametiv for it goods for multiple people. Shehiyanu only for one. One recites them, even if he does not actually see the rain. Very interesting. As long as he hears from others that it was raining. Very interesting. However, the blessing Modi Manachno, we give thanks, is to be recited only by one who sees the rain. So this thus one who has no field and does not see the rain, fallen recite no blessing at all. Okay, so let's try to understand. So if person is a sole partner, or he has another Jewish partner, they have they say Hatov Hametiv, whether they saw the rain or they just heard about someone that it was raining. Right? For example, they were somewhere away in another town, and somebody comes from that town and say it's actually rain. It was like a huge storm, actually, right after all of these droughts. Okay, so they allowed to say, but for the first guy who does not own a field, he does not say the blessing unless he saw the rain. which is very interesting. And his blessing is, as we understand, like from the text, is the longest one. Don't remember the explanation, but it's very interesting. Okay. Okay. Any questions on what we said? We finished that. Siman. Yes.
First question. The word says, if in Eretz Israel the first rain falls on Sukkot,
No,
it's not a...
I usually not on Sukkot, but possible. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then it goes, given it's not a good thing that we leave the Sukkah and are unable to fulfill the mitzvot properly, do we still say the bracha?
Yes, yeah. So like one has nothing to do with another. Like yes, you cannot sit in the sukkah on one hand. It is 100% true, but on the other hand, the whole land benefits from this rain. Understand? So they don't have rain in the summer. Zero, exactly zero. So the first rain is possible only closer to Sukkot, close. Right? So is it rain in Sukkot? Yeah, sometimes does. And it's not, as you said, it's not good. So Shulchan Aruch, not Shulchan, Talmud compares it's like so when we have sukkah, we decorate with footlights, all of this beautification, right? And we bring furniture there, right? And start raining, and the roof must be like it's skach, right? It must be that from the branches or from something like that grows from the ground, palm leaves, whatever is it, right? So and it should be not too dense, so you can see the stars, right? So it's like it has to have spaces between the particles, right? So you have to see the stars. So basically, if rain, it's going to rain everywhere in the sukkah. Like and then when it rains, our Talmud compares to a person, right? To each person that sit down. No, apologize. To a servant who prepare all of these beautiful settings for his master, and he brings like a cup of wine on a silver tray, this silver wine, like a goblet or something, right? And with a like old wine, and this master look at wine and spills it back at the face of the servant. So that's how Jewish people feel when it's actually rains on the first at least 2 days of Sukkot. So we prepare, but Master said, I don't need that. That's not good. So of course, it's as we said before, yesterday, the story how we live the Sukkah is a broken heart, because we see whatever we did was not accepted. Right? But as I said, they add this blessing for rain only 3 weeks after Sukkot. So it's all tradition. So why? Because we have a chance to everybody from Israel to go home, and only then start raining. Okay, if I live in Yerushalayim, like half holidays, half an hour walk, 40 minutes walk, 1 hour walk, and I'm home. There is no problem, right? So it can start raining tomorrow. That I can benefit. But somebody who's lives in Galilee, right? It's Haifa, and that region. It's very far, right? And actually, Lebanon, it's like mostly our land. I don't know if you knew that. Like, is it the whole Lebanon? I'm modern day Lebanon. I'm not sure if like how long it like where was the biblical border, but a lot to the north, right? So from that place to walk down to Yerushalayim, so it simply could be like up to 3 weeks. That's why we, in consideration to our brethren, so we don't start praying for rain at least for 3 weeks, right? But December 4th, December 5th, it's actually connected to this equinox, right? I think we'll learn before, right? And it was good for the rain in Babylonia, since most of the Jews live in Babylonia, right? At that time, of course, they live other places as well, but majority lived in Babylonia. Everybody in exile. The diaspora say this started adding this line from December 5th or 4th. That depends on the year, of course. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, no problem. So let's continue. And we start today. Very, very interesting topic. Very interesting topic, and what is very good about it that in another class we're going into details about this topic, so I would be able to add BeEzrat HaShem. So Siman 62, the loss of business transactions. Okay, CF1. One must be very careful not to defraud one's fellow when setting the price for a transaction. For whoever does defraud his fellow, regardless of whether it is a seller who is defrauding the buyer or by overcharging him, or it is a buyer who defrauds the seller by underpaying, violates the prohibition. As the verse in Vayikra 25:14 states, when you make a sale to your fellow or make a purchase from the hand of your fellow, do not aggravate one another. Moreover, the Gemara in Shabbos story AA tells us that this is the first question asked a person after he dies at the time he is brought to judgment before the heavenly tribunal. Did you conduct your business transaction with integrity? Okay, so that's how it is important to be honest in business. And business is, as we say, it's not only business dealings, but with all the transactions between people. Right? So we're going to see and read the commentaries. But if we start from the end, like the most important point, I mean, not the most, but like our goal, right? In all of our endeavors, we have to have a roadmap, like where exactly we're going. And we're going exactly to the last line. On the last day of final judgment, we have to get accounting. And the first question is not how much you Torah learn, right? It's actually the second question, but the first question, did you conduct a business transaction with integrity? Right? Were you honest? That's amazing, right? So let's see. Paragraph number 1 is from the beginning, and we're going to explain. One must be very careful not to defraud one fellow when setting the price for transaction. And we're going to see, so one fellow, just later on, we're going to say like separately, I'm not sure where, that it's not allowed to defraud non-Jews as well, because when it says fellow, it means your fellow Jew, right? But what we learn about non-Jew, it's a separate prohibition because it's going to cause a Hil HaShem. Okay, so let's see. One must be very careful not to defraud one fellow when setting price for a transaction. So meaning today, like you go to the store and you decided to buy the things or not. So you go to internet and check. Like sometimes you even can take a picture and it tells you how much this thing cost. Right? For example, right? You can scan the barcode or something. So you can tell exactly, like, but in the olden days, they were not like that. Of course, there is some market prices, but for like commodities, but for other things, like it was like if you, for example, if you made a chair, you can charge any price because it's not standard chair; it's your chair, right? From your special wood with your special skill. So you say this chair is $500, and the other guy sells exactly the same chair for I don't know, $40, right? Because for him, like he maybe he has helpers, like free helpers, I don't know, some like maybe free wood or something. So for him, he had better tools, it was very, very fast, and it makes sense. But you can charge whatever you want, right? But for other things that were stable market price, so you're not allowed to charge whatever you want. There is stable price, right? Standard price, and you have to go by that, right? And you cannot overcharge him too much. So continue. For whoever does defraud his fellow, regardless of whether the seller who defrauds the buyer by overcharging him, or the buyer who is defrauding the seller by underpaying, so it doesn't violate the prohibition. So it does not matter. Not always only sellers cheat the buyers. Sometimes buyers they cheat the sellers and they steal, and that's unfortunately, like, it's very tragic what's going on in my neighborhood where I live. There is like huge like drugstores, but drugstores where really it means that they sell, of course, drugs like medicine or something. They say pharmacy department, but pharmacy department, I don't know, like how much business they make from pharmacy. So they sell other things. They sell food, some I don't know, like home, household items. Like they sell all of these million and a half things, right? So, but since the people they just rob the stores, what does it mean rob? Yeah, without gun, without anything, they just come, put in a bag, and leave. Right? And there's no security, and it's impossible to arrest them. So you have to, like somebody told me, I think you have to steal for minimum $500. Ridiculous, right? And only then police is going to come. For small thieves, they're not going to come. So all of these crazy things, and the store is just going out of the business. You understand? So buyers steal from sellers. Very interesting. Very, I mean, that's very, very like tragic. Okay, so commentary. The market determines the value of an item. In general, the seller is considered to be defrauding buyer if he has the price that exceeded the current market value. And so today it's a little different. It's a little different, or maybe a little different. So it's hard to determine the value, right? Because why? If my store is on the main street, right, then I opened right just I don't know, a year ago, so my rent is very high. If this guy's store maybe also on the main street, but he opened 20 years ago, so he has this multi years lease, right? So maybe it's he pay maybe 30% of what I pay. You understand? So of course it increases, but it's 30% what I pay, and they different insurance because of this, because of that. So to calculate, to say that somebody is cheating, it's not such an easy thing, even if they sell exactly the same product, right? He has so many employees, he did this renovation, he had to change the roof, he had to change air conditioner. So of course this cost a lot of money, right? And plus, as I just said, people steal from the stores. I guess they steal more from some stores from the others, which is very sad, right? But in the olden days, when plus they have to pay taxes, all of these things, right? If you have so many workers, I'm not sure how many workers minimum you have. Like you have to buy, wherever I live, the medical insurance. I'm not sure. Maybe if you have up to 3 workers or 5, I'm not sure that you're not obligated. But if you have more than a certain amount of work, you're obligated to buy them medical insurance. So in that guy, he works in a store that he's been renting for the past 40 years, let's say, and it's only him and his wife and his daughter, let's say, working there. So there's no problem that he's not obligated in this and he's not obligated in that. You understand? So he can keep one price, but I have all of the employee. I have to buy the medical insurance, this insurance, that insurance. So I have to pay higher price, right? So it's not not like it was in olden days. You just open the store and it's the same rent, or right? Everything is exactly the same. but let's read it anyway. The market determines the value of the item. Okay. In general, the seller is considered to be defrauding the buyer if he asks for the price that exceeded the current market value. So the current market value includes already all of the profits, of course, right? And the unsuspecting buyer makes the purchase, assuming that the requested price is a true reflection of the market's value. So in olden days, you have to go from this store to that store. Today, you just type in Google, right, and see like in some areas you can see what they're selling for, whatever in your area. So it's much easier. Okay, so and now we're talking about we're going to comment on defrauding from the seller side. Number 2, if the item in a store is underpriced, one is obligated to inform the store owner. Shulchan Aruch Harav. So it's very interesting, right? So he sells it at too low price, right? And whatever, right? So you have to tell them. Buying the item without notifying the owner of the item true value is prohibited, even though the merchant made the mistake on his own. So it's very, very interesting. So it's not. I did not do anything for him to make a mistake, right? So, but at least I have to inform him. Actually, it's Mr. Yosef, you have a very good price, but I think in other stores they sell for 25. Are you sure that your price is 13? So he can say, I bought it wholesale. I went to the manufacturer. I have my uncle works for a manufacturer. He gave me a discount. Okay. I mean, if he's okay, he understands what he's selling for. There is no problem. You can buy from him. So it's not if he's aware of the true value, true price, and he wants to sell cheaper, there is no problem. But if he does not know, we have to inform him. So we cannot take advantage of what happened, as it was story on the internet some time ago. I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe more, plus minus. I don't know. One guy, we have a city of Monsey. Rabbi Mizrahi lives there. A lot of religious people from different backgrounds, very interesting, from different communities, they live there. And one guy was selling, I think iPads. I think it was iPads, right? I'm not sure how much they cost. Maybe it's 700. It was a long time ago. 600, 500. I don't know. Let's say 500 to make it easier. Apple, I think, right? iPad. So and once he wanted to see the prices. He bought some, and of course he would sell, and he wanted to see the price, and he saw that somebody is selling this iPad not for 600 but for $60, right? And of course, I know in the different countries different rules, but in states they usually honor the price. So okay, it was your mistake. So if you're not going to honor the price, so they're going to kick you out from the platform, which is you're going to lose the business, right? So you even if it was type of this and that. And this guy said, I saw by the name of the seller, like Mendel or Schmendel, right? So he said a Jewish guy, and what he did, so he bought everything, he bought I don't know how many he had, 100 or whatever items or 200 whatever. So he bought everything, and then somehow I don't remember the whole story, but he found this guy, and he called him up and said, look, I have your merchandise, so you don't have to ship me, but just cancel the sale or do something. and change the price. And guy said, yeah, I made a mistake. I thought like I have my computer froze, so I thought that I put 600. I'm making up the number because I don't remember exactly the number. I thought that I put extra zero, but looks like a computer froze and it did not take extra zero, even though I saw it on my screen. It's very interesting. So that's how one Jews save another Jews. Of course, they both are not in Muncie. Like, of course, there are like rich people in Muncie, but many people are just learning, like half a day or most of the day. On a side business, they try to sell something, like to survive, to live, like to have some kind of business to support themselves. So that's not for this guy. It would be absolutely disaster if he would lose so much money. Okay, very interesting. So for us, if somebody is selling too low, you must tell him. Okay. I remember who said it. The story, it's from Rabbi Yoel Gold. Okay. So continue. Okay, so and what it says in BeEzrat 25:14, when you make a sale to your fellow or you make a purchase from the hand of your fellow, do not aggravate one another. Right, so that's a special prohibition. Commentary regarding the recourse available to the injured party when fraud occurred. See Shulchan Aruch 227. Okay, so that's a different story. How to rectify the issue. But this aggravation of one another, it's actually separate prohibition. So, one thing that he cheated him, it's one thing, but on top he aggravated him. Continue. Moreover, the Gemara Shabbos 38 tells us that this is the first question asked for a person when he dies, right? So when a person dies, I go to to go to the final judgment. That's what he's going to be asked. So that's from this we understand how it is important to conduct our business faithfully. Okay, so basically, if you have HaShem in your life and then you understand that He's running the world, so why would I cheat the guy, right? So continue. Number 2. Just as the prohibition against fraud applies when engaging in a transaction involving buying and selling, so does it apply against fraud. So does the prohibition against fraud apply when setting the terms for rental, for constructual work, and from money changing? So here, of course, in this halacha, so he put a lot of things that would fall under this prohibition. So, but with all of the different calculations, and I have actually this clip made from, as I said, we learned this business laws in details. Of course, it's sometimes I feel it's too much information, right? But I made a clip about not cheating non-Jew. Right, and sometimes so it says that he's naive, and he said, "You, Mr. Jew, I love you, I trust you." Doesn't matter. And sometimes it is like even in old days, like it's proportion and it's a formula, it's percentage, this, right? And it's not so simple to calculate, right? So ratios was also hard for most of the people, right? On all of the formula. Pro rata, like and stuff like that. So, but you have to be very, very diligent. You have to be very, very careful in calculating all of the prices and give this non-Jew accounting and give him in writing whatever you charge him and whatever he owes you. So, and we actually follow this advice several times in our lives, and these non-Jews, they were like mind blowing. Right, and not in some even other non-religious Jews. So we did exactly calculations: who is paying this, who is paying that, and they, of course, they agree because, of course, we're trying to calculate, to give them advantage. But sure, okay, here it's actually this, but we will give it to you. Like as Rambam is saying, Shulchan Aruch is saying that you have to tip the scale to if you seller, if I'm seller, to the side of the customer. So of course there is a specific formula, like not the formula, it's a specific requirement, but it must be tipped in their side. Like don't be cheap. Okay, so let me see what time is.